Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News. As you know, we took a break over the festive season. This is our return program. We were hoping that the mood of goodwill towards all men might reduce the amount of religious impact on humanity, but we were mistaken. This edition's headlines is a list of double the usual length. Saudi Arabia's top religious body declares homosexuality to be one of the most heinous crimes and gay people to be a disgrace in this world and the next. A suicide bomber kills at least 6 in eastern Congo on Christmas Day. Nigerian Christians are told to abandon churchgoing in order to avoid Islamic violence. Afghanistan's Taliban ban long-distance road trips for solo women. A man was beaten to death for sacrilege, an attempt at sacrilege at the Sikh Golden Temple in India. Staying with India, a film director, Ali Akbar, has left Islam. Nigeria, the Assembly rejects gender equality law. The richest man in Utah just quit the Mormon Church with a damning letter. The Christ statue is vandalized in Haryana as attacks against Christians spread. In West Hampstead, London, there was an anti-Semitic assault, and police issue CCTV images after a man was attacked during Hanukkah. The Roe versus Wade US abortion rights lawyer Sarah Weddington dies. Canada has for the first time an atheist majority amongst the younger generation. And losing our religion, Christians are poised to become a minority in England or the UK. Finally, a gay Santa advert highlights a big shift in Norwegian society. Saudi Arabia's top religious body has declared homosexuality one of the most heinous crimes and gay people a disgrace in this world and the next. In a statement, Grand Mufti Abdulaziz Al-Sheikh said the kingdom, which hosts Islam's 2 holiest sites, categorically rejects homosexuality. His comments came after Saudi Arabia's United Nations ambassador Abdallah al-Muallimi expressed reservations over a UN General Assembly draft on democracy that included the terms sexual orientation and gender identity. Despite the country's attempts to present a reformist image, many things, including homosexuality and atheism, are illegal in Saudi Arabia. While punishments for same-sex relationships are not outlined under the law in Saudi Arabia, they are strictly prohibited under Sharia law, from which the country draws its legal framework. LGBTQ+ rights in Saudi Arabia were thrust into the spotlight in October when English Premier League football team Newcastle United was bought by a Saudi-backed consortium. Many spoke out against the purchase, citing Saudi Arabia's human rights record, such as the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi inside the country's Istanbul embassy, and the rights of LGBTQ+ people as a reason to block the deal. A suicide bomber attacked a restaurant and bar in Beni on Christmas Day, killing at least 6 people in the eastern Congolese town where Islamic extremists are known to be active. Heavy gunfire rang out shortly after the bomb went off, with panicked crowds fleeing the town's hub. General Sylvain Ekenge, spokesperson for the governor of North Kivu, said security guards had blocked the bomber from entering the crowded bar, and so the person detonated the explosives at the entrance. Among the dead were 2 children, according to Mayor Nasise Muteba. At least 13 other people were wounded and taken to a local hospital. Investigations are underway to find the perpetrators of this terrorist attack, he told AP News. The town has long been targeted by rebels from the Allied Democratic Forces, a group that traces its origins to neighboring Uganda. But an Islamic State affiliate claimed responsibility for 2 explosions in Beni in June, deepening fears that religious extremism has taken hold there too. Those explosions included the first known suicide bombings in eastern Congo, a Ugandan man who blew himself up outside a bar. The Islamist group's Central Africa province later said that the suicide bomber was targeting Christians. The other explosion that day went off inside a Catholic church, wounding 2 people. Nigerian Christians have been told to abandon churchgoing to avoid Islamist violence. See this video from Atheist Republic.
In Nigeria, on November 19th, an unknown person delivered a letter to the police headquarters in Gusau, Nigeria. The letter threatened Christians in the Zamfara state and told them not to hold public worship or Sunday services. The letter stated that the penalty for not listening to their demands would result in attacks, abductions, and church burnings. Zamfara State Police Command's spokesperson, Mohammed Shehu, stated that a special task force has been patrolling areas surrounding Christian churches to protect worshipers. According to the police, a particular Fulani association took credit for writing the letter. The Fulani people are a primarily Muslim ethnic group that live in West Africa. Director of Communications of the Diocese of Sokoto, Father Chris Omotosho, stated that the church officials in the state have, quote, made no formal statement, but internal strategies are at work. The Christian Association of Nigeria calls the threat, quote, decisive by declaring war against Christians.
The Taliban have said Afghan women seeking to travel long distances by road should be offered transport only if accompanied by a male relative. The directive, issued on Sunday, is the latest curb on women's rights since the Islamist group seized power in August. A majority of secondary schools remain shut for girls, while most women have been banned from working. Campaign group Human Rights Watch said the new restriction moved further towards making women prisoners. Heather Barr, the group's associate director of women's rights, told AFP news agency the order shuts off opportunities for women to be able to move about freely or to be able to flee if they are facing violence in the home. The latest directive, issued by the Taliban's Ministry of Promotion of Virtue and Prevention of Vice, said women traveling for more than 45 miles, 72 kilometers, should be accompanied by a close male family member. The document calls on vehicle owners to refuse rides to women not wearing Islamic head or face coverings, although it does not say which type of covering to use. Most Afghan women already wear headscarves. It also bans the playing of music in vehicles. See this video from the BBC.
Afghanistan today is a country in trouble. In the ways that the world never thought that Afghanistan was going to get into this kind of trouble. The trouble that Afghanistan is in right now, apart from the whole political whatever of it, is poverty, is brain drain, is a collapse of our society, and a country, if it doesn't get better, on the verge of becoming in pieces, of being destroyed. By not raising our voices, and by not asking the right questions at the right time, and by not, bringing everything to the attention of the ones that is, taking care of things, whether they are the Taliban, they are the Afghans, they are the international community, whoever that, has or our neighbors. I think it can get a lot worse. We really want to make sure that whatever it is, the Sharia, what the Sharia says, it's not the interpretation only of a group of people. That's not what we want. There's a lot of Islamic countries. We are not the only Muslim country. And all of these countries around us, they have women in them. So how do they live? How do they survive? How do they thrive? This is what we want also. We want to be a thriving, a beautiful, a successful Muslim country. What is wrong with that? Afghanistan is a country, and we have to keep it as a country and make it better. Do they understand that? Do they want to understand us? If they do, then they will work at it. If they don't, then they'll do what they're doing right now, and Afghanistan will disappear.
Now for some good news. The Indian film director Ali Akbar has left Islam, as Haris Sultan and Nuria Khan report in this video.
People to come out and say, well, screw this religion, I'm not going to be a part of that. But anyway, I think a lot of these people end up becoming Hindus because they live in India and they need some sort of support.
Police in the Indian city of Amritsar say a man suspected of trying to commit a sacrilegious act at Sikhism's holiest shrine has been beaten to death. The incident took place during a prayer service at the city's Golden Temple on Saturday, according to local media. The man allegedly barged into the inner sanctum where Sikhism's holy book, the Guru Granth Sahib, is kept. He then grabbed a ceremonial sword placed next to the book, but was overpowered by guards and worshippers. Sikhs regard the Guru Granth Sahib as the living Guru and believe it should be treated with respect as a human might be. The scuffle took place at around 1745 local time and was captured on camera as evening prayers were being broadcast on television. It is unclear exactly what happened next. Police say the man was found dead once officers arrived at the scene and an investigation is underway. Less than 24 hours later, another man was beaten to death by Sikhs accusing him of sacrilege after he allegedly tried to remove the Sikh flag, Nishan Sahib, from a temple in Kapurthala, also in Punjab state. Indian media report police initially took the man into custody, but locals then clashed with police and ended up killing the man. A Nigerian MP says he won't support a law seeking to establish gender equality because it infringes with the provisions of the Quran, and he asks for the word equal to be removed. Hear this video.
So let's begin in Nigeria, where lawmakers have rejected a new draft gender equality law that sought to empower women and promote equality. The bill was introduced by Senator Biodun Olujimi For 10 years, she worked hard at it, lobbied and prepared to present the draft law, only to see it struck down yesterday. One of the MPs explained that gender equality was at odds with her Islamic beliefs and the Quran.
My name is Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf. I represent Taraba Central. From an Islamic perspective, equating opportunities actually infringes with the provisions of the Quran, of which I am a Muslim, and also the Bible. So I will not support the passage of this unless until the word equal is removed.
The richest man in Utah has just submitted his resignation to the Mormon Church, claiming that it is actively and currently doing harm in the world. The man in question is Jeff T. Greene, a tech mogul worth about $5 billion. Just last month, he joined the Giving Pledge, promising to give away at least 90% of his wealth before he dies. But it's the other revelation that's even more eye-popping. He's formally leaving the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, along with nearly a dozen family members. The Salt Lake Tribune has the text of his resignation letter. It says, "Although I have deep love for many Mormons and gratitude for many things that have come into my life through Mormonism, I have not considered myself a member for many years, and I'd like to make clear to you and others that I am not a member," Greene writes in a December the 20th letter to the church president, Russell M. Nelson. "While I left the Mormon Church more than a decade ago, not believing, attending, or practicing, I have not officially requested the removal of my records until now." He says, while most members are good people trying to do right, I believe the church is actively and currently doing harm in the world. The church leadership is not honest about its history, its finances, and its advocacy, he writes. I believe the Mormon Church has hindered global progress in women's rights, civil rights, racial equality, and LGBTQ plus rights. His former faith, he thinks, should be doing more to help the world and its members with its wealth. Instead, I think the church has exploited its members and their need for hope to build temples, shopping malls, cattle ranches, investment funds, and to own mortgage-backed securities, rather than alleviating human suffering in or out of the church. A statue of Jesus Christ was vandalized at a church in Haryana's Ambala. Police are analyzing CCTV footage, but haven't yet been able to identify the criminals. See this video.
In another BJP-ruled state, the state of Haryana, a church was desecrated in Ambala in Haryana. The Jesus Christ statue was vandalized. This outside the British-era Holy Redeemer Church in Ambala. This is at the entrance of this British-era historical church in the early hours following Christmas prayers on Sunday. Now the authorities, the police, they're saying they're looking at CCTV footage to see who trespassed into the church property, broke some lightings, vandalized the statue during the Christmas prayers.
A man was injured in an anti-Semitic attack during Hanukkah, the Metropolitan Police has said. The force has released CCTV of a man who is wanted in connection with the assault, which happened outside West Hampstead Overground Station in North London. The 20-year-old victim was approached by the man on the 2nd of December, who then hurled anti-Semitic comments at him. He also damaged a display that had been put up to celebrate the Jewish festival of Hanukkah, police said. The Met said the suspect then assaulted the victim whilst intimating he was in possession of a knife before leaving the scene. The incident was described by Home Secretary Priti Patel as seriously disturbing. Sarah Weddington, a Texas lawyer who won the landmark 1973 court case to make abortions legal across the USA, has died at her home in Austin, aged 76. Susan Hayes, Weddington's former student and colleague, said she passed away on Sunday morning after a series of health issues. The Supreme Court case is widely known as Roe versus Wade. By a vote of 7-2, the court justices in 1973 ruled that governments lacked the power to prohibit abortions. Sarah also held office in the Texas House of Representatives for 3 terms in the 1970s and was later an advisor on women's issues in President Jimmy Carter's administration. Weddington's death comes as the Supreme Court now appears poised to accept a Mississippi law that would bar abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy, even in cases of rape or incest. A ruling expected in June may see millions of women lose access to abortion. Anti-abortion activists are urging the court to protect unborn children, but experts warn of an increase in maternal mortality if abortion is restricted. See this video from the BBC.
It's murder. Murdering children is wrong according to the God. So the Bible. We need to obey God. We bring a judgment against this land because we're killing children in this land. It needs to stop, and this country needs to repent.
I believe in a right to protest. I absolutely do. Hold your side, but when you're yelling at patients, that's not protest. You're yelling at patients about murdering babies, which is not occurring.
Just going out in the community, educating folks about what a pregnancy resource center is.
I actually was in that same situation. That I thought, and I was scared. But you know what? Even if I am, it's just amazing that there's a child, possibly a baby, inside of me.
Exam. And so what we're going to do now is
It's a pretty big relief.
I was scared because I do not want any memory of that day, connection to that person. I could not get any help for the pain I was going through. Could not get any support anywhere. I just had to suffer in silence because of it.
You can move on.
This is all a part of your healing. What happened to you is something that happened to you. It doesn't define you. When people are controlling women's fertility and pregnant people's fertility under the guise that they're trying to protect their health, what they're really doing is they're really controlling that person's basic human right and dignity. And that is a form of human rights abuse. Because the laws are so extreme in Texas, women and pregnant people are turned into reproductive refugees.
Now for the good news. Canada has, for the first time, an atheist majority among the younger generation. 54% of Canadians aged 18 to 34 answered they don't believe in God in a new Leisure Le Devoir survey. Overall, 42% answered they don't believe in God. And in England and Wales, the number of Christians is close to falling below half of the population for the first time, with a large increase in the number who have no religious faith, figures show. The 2011 census found that 59.3% of the English and Welsh population were Christian, but by 2019, this figure has fallen to 51%, according to data from the Office for National Statistics. Less than half of men, at just 47.4%, reported their religion as Christian, with 54.9% of women declaring themselves to be Christians. We wait the results of the 2021 census. Christian ads have become an annual tradition, often appearing as mini films with their own festive story. But one Norwegian commercial featuring Father Christmas kissing a man waiting for him at home on Christmas Eve has become a surprise hit. In When Harry Meets Santa, the 4-minute ad by Norway's state-run postal service, the man is seen writing Father Christmas a letter to the North Pole with the message, "All I want for Christmas is you," and he gets his wish. We wanted to celebrate the 50-year anniversary since the abolition of a law prohibiting same-sex relationships, says Monica Solberg, Poston's marketing director. The ad has been watched well over 2 million times online. The magnitude of response took us a bit by surprise. We expected a reaction, but not to such an extent. See this video.
Det kommer noen podcast der. God jul!
Jeg fikk tak i litt assistanse i år, så jeg kan være sammen med deg.
Free Thought Hour, my interview show, will be starting in a few minutes, so stay tuned to this channel. It's a bit different this week since it was recorded earlier to suit my guest's availability. Professor Lucy Rogers is a real kindred spirit. You will be able to chat with me live while it plays. The GAN team will be back with our weekly news review next week. Please like, share, and subscribe. This has been Global Atheist News. Thank you for watching.